solutions that you can use. Another solution you can also use is pumping your brakes. Now, the pumping of your brakes, you don't waste too much time with it. You press it continuously about 3-4 times, and hopefully it will take effect. It's almost like you are using your remote and you press the button and you realize it's not working, then you keep pressing with the hopes that it eventually works. Now, the kick here is that if your braking system is still intact, it won't work. However, if there's a leakage in the system, it will not work. So what happens is when you apply the brakes, it basically pushes brake fluid, which generates hydraulic pressure, which causes your brakes to work. So your brakes need, pressure in the hydraulic system to be able to take effect. So if, let's say, there's a leakage, it's almost like you have a hole in the balloon and you are pumping air into it. The more air you pump into it, the faster it even leaks. So it's the same thing with your braking system. If there's a leakage and you are pumping the brakes, just know that the pressure is still escaping. So if you do it 3-4 times and it doesn't work, forget about it. But in most cases, if your system is still intact, it would work. If you are driving on a rough road, then it means that all you have to do is just stop accelerating and target areas that your tires find difficulty turning. So target very, very bumpy areas or areas with a lot of loose sand. The tires find difficulty rolling through such areas. And then areas with a lot of gravels or a landscape that is, inclined upwards. If the car tries, if you target such an area and the car tries to climb, it will basically descend because gravity is working against it. So yes, these are a number of solutions that you can apply. Now, with the modern automatic cars that have, the parking brake in the form of a button, right? You push it down to engage the parking brake. You pull it up to release the parking brake. Now, automatic cars, like I said back in my previous videos, are slightly smarter than manual cars. So let's say you are driving and you apply your brake and your brake fails you, and you try to engage the parking brake, which is the button type. Automatically, the car would know that, okay, why the car will be, the car knows that, okay, the fact that you are trying to apply the parking brake while the car is moving is because your main brake, which is the foot brake, is not working. So it will drastically reduce the speed of the car, then eventually the car would stop. So another way to also manage a brake failure is the use of the guardrails. You realize that anytime you are traveling, there are certain areas that have guardrails, protecting the road. So especially when you are going to a bridge and you have to climb that winding road, you realize that the edges have these metallic barriers there. And it's basically meant to also keep you in the road just in case you lose control and you don't fall off the cliff or the hill.